Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. We continue reading from Imam Al-Ghazali's The 99 Beautiful Names of God, Al-Maqsad Al-Asna fi Sharhi Asma'illah Al-Husna, translated by David Borel and Nazih Lahir. We have reached number 31, Al-Latif, and this is mid page 96. Imam Al-Ghazali said, Rahimahullah, Al-Latif, the benevolent, one is deserving of this name if one knows the subtleties of those things which are beneficial, as well as their hidden aspects, along with what is subtle about them and what is benevolent. Moreover, in conveying them to those who are deserving, he is committed to the path of gentleness rather than harshness. For the perfect meaning of benevolence combines gentleness in action with a delicacy of perception. ثم إنما يستحق هذا الاسم اللطيف من يعلم دقائق المصالح وغوامضها ومدق منها وما لطف ثم يسلك في إيصالها المستحق سبيل الرفق دون العنف. So basically, gentleness and really avoiding harshness. Of course, avoiding harshness. But harshness would be khushuna in Arabic. And let's face it, a direct meaning of unf. Typically today we use the word violence. And the description of the believer, a believer is a believer, okay? There you have the Muslim and you have the mu'min. And the Muslim, the believer, has been described as hayyan layyan. Hayyan layyan, of course, it has to be contextualized with one's family, spouse, children, with siblings, with parents, with neighbors, with colleagues, with... Of course, this is, as we said, it has to be contextualized, unless there is a need to take a position that is definitely, that does not require one to be soft, gentle. If you are the CEO of a company with thousands of employees, you need to be firm, definitely you need to be serious, but once it comes to how you handle people, there might be a certain gentleness, and people will be respectful. But I love the discussion about, basically the description or invoking these traits about the Muslim being hayyin layyin, samhan idha ba, samhan idha ishtara, easy going, whether you are buying or you are selling. This would lead to a different social fabric. And I wonder why certain people around the globe, they are very polite, they are very gentle, they are... and the closer we get to our region, we face tough people. Is it the very long period of colonialism? Is it the harshness of the desert around the corner? Definitely there are people who are gentle as a trait of the society. You might find it in Southeast Asia, you might find it in various communities around the world. For the perfect meaning of benevolent combines gentleness in action with the delicacy of perception. Such perfection in knowledge and action is inconceivable except in God. May He be praised and exalted. His comprehending the subtleties and hidden aspects cannot be detailed. Rather, what is hidden is exposed to His knowledge as though it were manifest, with no distinction between them. As for His being gentle and benevolent in actions, it too cannot be reckoned. Indeed, one only knows what the benevolence in action is from knowing his actions, and the subtleties of gentleness found in them. In the measure that one's knowledge of them expands, knowledge of the meaning of the name, the benevolent, is increased. Explaining that would require going on at length, and even then, it is inconceivable that many volumes would satisfy a tenth part of a tenth of it. But it is possible to advise regarding some aspects of its total arrangement. An example of Allah's being benevolent is His creating the fetus in the womb of its mother in a threefold darkness, talking about the womb itself, and it's pretty dark. I mean, there's no way. Uh, could it be the abdomen as a second one? The third one, uh, the very there's a membrane that covers the fetus, of course. Um, yes. So these would be like three layers, if you will. Wallahu alam. Okay. So an example is creating the fetus. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creating the fetus in the womb of its mother in a threefold darkness, and His protecting and nurturing it through the umbilicus until the umbilical cord until it separates and becomes independent by taking food through its mouth, and then His inspiring it upon separation to take the breast and suckle it, even in the darkness of night, without any instruction or vision. I mean, imagine if you are going to still teach a newborn how to breastfeed, what language and what instruction, and these are some of the instincts biologically um, already there. Yeah, these are not acquired things. And thanks, Thanks God for that. Moreover, he makes the shell burst for the sake of the little bird. So he makes the shell burst, and it really cracks so that the chick would get out of the egg. The shell is the shell of the egg, and inspires it to pick up grains immediately. Then there is the delay in creating teeth from the outset of a creature's existence until the time they are needed. It's not any creature, really. In this case, um, most probably Imam Ghazali is talking about the human being. So then there is a delay in creating the teeth or creating teeth from the outset of a creature's existence until um, the time they are needed, since it has no need of teeth while it is being nourished by milk. Since it has no need of teeth while it is being nourished by milk. Okay, it's true. But there is another aspect. Imagine if the baby, 1 day old baby with a set of teeth, that would be pretty painful for the mother. SubhanAllah. That's lutf from the Latif. But he makes them come in afterwards when it needs to crush food. Then there is the differentiation of teeth into molars for crushing, canine teeth for breaking, and sharp-edged middle incisors for cutting. Then there is the use of the tongue, whose more obvious purpose were a shovel, literally, mijrafa. So you basically are like a bucket, you are simply moving things inside, around and inside, one might say. So then there is the use of the tongue, whose more obvious purpose is verbal articulation to direct the food to be crushed as though it were a shovel. The explanation of his benevolence will not be exhausted, even by noting how it provides a morsel for man to eat without his suffering any discomfort, while a countless number of creatures cooperate to make it suitable. Those who reclaim the land, plant the seed, water it, harvest it, sift it, grind it, knead it from kneading the dough, and bake it, and the rest. In sum, he, subhanahu wa ta'ala, is wise insofar as he plans things, generous insofar as he creates them, fashioner insofar as he orders them, just insofar as he puts each thing in its proper place, and benevolent insofar as he does not overlook subtleties and qualities of gentleness concerning them. Whoever fails to discern the effects of these actions will certainly miss the true meaning of these names. An example of the way he is benevolent toward his servants is his giving them more than they need, and his demanding of them less than they are capable of. SubhanAllah. Sometimes when we speak about the 17 daily prostrations divided over 5 daily prayers. Practically, talk about some 17 minutes. So one should be ashamed of himself or herself if one does not really hasten to prostrate, to be thankful. It also pertains to his being benevolent to facilitate their attaining the happiness of eternity with little effort in a short time. That is a lifetime. For there is no way of comparing that with eternity. The production of pure milk out of digested food and blood, as well as the production of precious gems from hard stone, of honey from the bee, of honey from the bee, silk from the worm, and pearls from the oyster are all part of his benevolence. But even more amazing than that is his creating from impure semen one who is a vessel for his knowledge, bears his trust and witness to his heavenly kingdoms. This too is impossible to reckon. Impure semen, really the what Imam Al-Ghazali intends to say, nutfa qadira. First of all, semen, if you talk about Islamic jurisprudence, is not impure. That's one thing. So assume that there is semen on one's clothing. Suffice it that if it's dry to rub it off. That's one thing. Unlike urine, for example, of human feces. So that's one aspect of it. But the context and knowing Imam Ghazali simply says it's nothing. That's really the meaning. That's the overarching meaning. It's nothing. But then we have a human being out of this semen. Of course, talk about the ovum, a zygote, a fetus, until this human being becomes a vessel for divine knowledge and becomes a witness, and all this is within the realm of lutf. When Imam Ghazali said that you talk about digested food and blood, this is Quranic, and since the bees and the honey were mentioned, that's a verse in Surah Al-Nahl too. وإن لكم في الأنعام لعبرة نسقيكم مما في بطونه من بين فرث ودم لبنا خالصا سائغا للشاربين. فرث ودم, that's the Arabic. Farth wadam, coming from that verse. Digested food. You talk about cattle, where ultimately you will get milk, and subhanallah, imagine the cattle is eating whether herbs or hay or leaves, and you get this nourishing, refreshing milk. Counsel. A man's share in this attribute is a gentleness with regard to the servants of God, great and glorious, and a predilection for them and petitioning God the Most High, as well as guiding them to the happiness of the world to come, in a manner free from rebuke or harshness. Fanaticism or disputation. The best way of being benevolent, open to man, lies in attracting others to accept the truth by one's good qualities, pleasing comportment, and exemplary actions, for they are more effective and more benign than eloquent exhortation. This reminds us of it's uh, it's an ongoing accusation against Islam and Muslims and Islamic history. Of course, it's a lie. Just simply to they say that Islam was spread by the sword. It's an absolute lie, and the biggest, largest uh, example is the Malay archipelago. Today, you talk about the southern Thailand, the kingdom of Fatani, Malaysia, Singapore, which was carved out by the British. Indonesia, really, there is like a U shape. The Malay occupy all that region, all the way to southern Thailand. Really, that's a very important issue. They are Ash'arites in terms of Aqidah. They are Shafi'i in terms of jurisprudence, and they are Sufi. They are, and we talk about people from Hadarima, from Hadramaut, to talk about Yemen, really, and who went to that region, sailors, merchants, and that's exactly the good character that we talk about. This is really, people who lived up to what they believe. It was not only lip service. I have met in Indonesia people who are descendants of those from Hadramaut who still speak Arabic, and that's something very, very beautiful. The Hadarima are tens of thousands of people in the Malay archipelago. Tens of thousands of people. So it's not about eloquent exhortation, it's about really, rather than saying, Islam definitely advocates personal cleanliness, hygiene. Talk about wudu, talk about ghusl, but ultimately it's not about what you say about cleanliness in Islam. It's about people seeing that kind of cleanliness in your own life and also in the society. It's not that a foreigner, non-Muslim foreigner, coming to visit one of the Muslim countries, and then if they find piles of trash on the streets, people who do not really, people do get influenced, affected by action. The narrative, the Islamic worldview, should be expressed by those who know it, those who are capable of disseminating Islamic knowledge, but ultimately we need living models, if you if you will. Suffice it for this session, inshallah. We will continue with Al-Khabir in the next session بإذن الله عز وجل. Until then, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.